Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and I got a really good question on my YouTube channel today. And basically, it was from a person that was not familiar with American muscle cars, and they were looking at a video we had made on the 1968 Chevelle, and they asked, "What is the Protecto Plate?" So I decided to do a little video here, and I'll use my 1972 Chevelle Convertible as an example because I'm very fortunate to have all the original documentation for this car. So what is a Protecto Plate? Well, here's what it looks like, okay? And the Protecto Plate has raised letters on it, and it would have been part of your 1972 Chevrolet vehicle warranty card. And as you can see, this is filled out with my good buddy Jim Rogers. Hey Jim, and hey, hello to your son Ryan. I know you watch my videos, but what did the Protecto Plate have on it? Well, it would have the original dealership was printed right below here, and they printed Jim Rogers' name on here and the fact that he was from Winterset, Iowa. So I'll take some good pictures of this, and then we'll talk about what is actually on here line by line and how it's such a valuable document to the car's restoration and the prominence of the car, what it came with originally and who the original owners were. Because only the original owner got one of these Protecto Plates, and they were basically used when the car went in for service. I don't know if you guys, I'll try to find a picture of this. They used to swipe your credit card, and they used a piece of paper that would help imprint whatever the raised letters were on the document they were swiping. So if you brought your car in for service, and this is what it was intended for, say you need an oil change, the service manager would swipe it just like a credit card, and then they would write down the notes under that, what they did to the car. So yeah, that was the main use for it. I think they, in 1966, 67, they needed these to basically provide evidence that they tracked all the owners in case the car was recalled. You know, we were getting into a lot more, I guess, laws about automobiles and recalls back then, and they wanted a way to trace, you know, who owned the car, and this was a good way to do it. You know, of course, now with computers and the way VIN tags are made on cars now, it's a lot easier to trace back who owns the car, or currently, rather than the original owner. But like I said, only the original owner would get this. And well, let's just talk about, I'll show you some pictures. I'll show you where this is at, how to get some of these numbers off, and how to get to comparing what is actually on the car to what's actually on this Protecto Plate. All right, the top number for this Protecto Plate is the serial number of the car. 1 stands for Chevrolet. D stands for Malibu. 67 stands for Convertible. The W is the first year they started using the engine code in the serial number. So the W stands for LS5 454. And then the 2 is 1972. And then the K is where the car was manufactured, in Kansas City, Missouri. And the rest of the numbers are the sequencing of the car on the assembly line. All right, the next set of numbers we're going to look at starts with the T, and that is the engine code. Hopefully you can appreciate this is a very difficult picture to take when we're talking about the serial number of the motor. And we're going to go down in between to get to this engine stamp pad, and I'm going to try to get in focus so that you guys can see this. So T stands for where the engine was made in Tonawanda. 05 would be the month that this engine was manufactured, and it was the 11th day of that month. So 05, May 11th. And then the CRX is the code for manual transmission behind a 454 with air injection. Now that's part of the pollution control system, the air injection pump. Now if it had a CRW, that would mean it was a automatic transmission for the Chevelle. The next set of numbers, the P2D24, is for the transmission, and P would stand for Muncie, 2 would stand for 1972, and D would be April, and then 24th would be the 24th day of April that the transmission was manufactured. Okay, the next set of numbers we see are the RVC 124. The RV would mean a 331 posi-track rear end, and then the C means that it was made in Buffalo, New York, and then the 124 would stand for, if you go back, that's a Julian code for the days of the year in 1971. So this would be made in May of 1971, which I find it interesting that the rear axles were made almost a year in advance of these cars. I'm getting all my information from ChevelleStuff.net, and I would be remiss if I didn't remember my friend Chuck Frame, who owned this website at one time when he was alive, and I believe Tom Reitler has taken over this website now. And I'm very proud when Chuck was still alive that they asked me for a picture of my car to display for the 1972 model year. You'll notice when you go onto that website, you'll see all red Chevelles from 64 up to 72. And there you'll see a picture of my convertible. Pretty cool. But anyway, the next letter we see in the middle of the page, there is a C, and that means that the carburetor was manufactured by Carter. Now, it doesn't tell you what kind of carburetor. Obviously, it's a Rochester design, but it was actually manufactured by Carter. And then the next set of numbers, the 1133, are some options for the car. And the 1 would be power steering. The next one would be power brakes. The 3 would be the radio. In my case, the car came with an AM radio with an 8-track player. And then the next 3 would stand for disc brakes. And then the last letter you see there, I believe it's a E, would be the month of manufacture. So A, B, C, D, E, January, February, March, April, May. Car was manufactured in May. And then as you can see, the James Rogers in Winterset, Iowa, the owner, and looks like he picked up that car on June 2nd of 1972. So this is how you decode a Protecto Plate. Of course, I reversed the Protecto Plate so we could read it easier, and this is what it would normally look like. And I'm not sure what that phone number is. Maybe Jim can tell me. I can tell you it's a Winterset, Iowa phone number, but maybe he remembers his notes there. So that about wraps it up for this car, 1972 Chevrolet Chevelle convertible. And of course, there's other numbers that we could look into, like this VIN number here and the number on the inside of the door. And we could also go over the build sheet of the car. Maybe we'll do that at a later date. Let me know. Meldrum's Monster Garage. Thanks. Like, subscribe. See ya.